TPE Network. Fun yet informative podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the somber edition of the Mouse House Plus, where two co-hosts have to duke it out live on air. All right, I'm Hank, of course, John, and we have a special guest, Mel. Mel, how are you?
I am great, like always.
That is fantastic. You won't be in about 5 minutes. You'll be ready to quit the network in about 5-10 minutes. So we are going to battle over this power broker stuff. John thinks he can prove Sharon Carter is legitimately the power broker. I'm going to defend her and create reasonable doubt that she is not. John, what are your opening arguments?
All right. So the opening arguments that I have is that we know that this is an ongoing thing and it's agreement that Apple has with Disney in regards to how they treat their products in open screen. So if you go back and watch any of the any movie, any series, none of the villains have iPhones, and this is agreement that they have because they're making sure that their products do not have like some negative effect, like that would make a difference. So the first part in all this is that we see Sharon when we see her with her phone right off the bat. It is not an iPhone. And we see it again in the next episode in this exact same way. But this is just leading into the whole thing just to show that we already have the staple of proving that she is the power broker, because through this agreement, we are already seeing that she is not being presented as a good guy, but as a bad guy because of her holding this phone.
I would like the court to ponder what is the import laws in Madripoor. Can they even get iPhones there? Come on now.
Oh, wait.
I don't have an iPhone. Am I a villain?
Hold on. I object. He's talking about a fictitious place.
So just to be clear, you're saying that 100% of the people who have iPhones are good guys in the show.
Yes.
In Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Okay.
And have we ever seen any good guy with an Android?
No, we haven't. They all have iPhones.
Did Bruce Banner have an iPhone? Can you prove that?
I think he had a flip phone.
Exactly. He's a good guy.
I mean, if you're going to go there, why didn't you go to the phone that Captain America gave of Stark? I mean, because that's a flip phone.
And he's a good guy too, and that's not an iPhone. And so you've just ruined your own argument.
Yes, but that was also a comedic throw out, showing like old technology from the old guy. That wasn't something here. We're talking about smartphones, people with smartphones.
Okay. I want to take it in a different direction, because I think, as did Marvel, Sharon Carter was snapped. She showed up on the screen being snapped. Now, all of a sudden, she wasn't snapped. Was she snapped? Was she just hiding? She didn't reach out to Steve. There's this whole deleted scene that the prosecution's going to bring up in a little bit. Come on now. This is just too many coincidences that prove Sharon Carter can't be the power broker. She was snapped for 5 years. Now, all of a sudden, she's the power broker? This can't be true.
What?
Okay. So, do you have any proof that she was snapped?
The only proof is the evidence of her showing up on screen. Steve Rogers and her had a relationship. And you're telling me that he couldn't track her down if he wanted to? The guy broke into the raft.
You're right about that. But here's the thing. The reason why she is so, and to put it simple, butthurt over why she's been treated the way that she is because she was forgotten about by Steve Rogers, of all people, who went back and actually rescued everyone except for her. Again, I have to agree. There is no proof besides we see her picture pop up that she was snapped. But remember, Paul Rudd's character, Ant-Man, was also part of that group, and he actually wasn't snapped the entire time, proving that those pictures do not prove if you were snapped or not snapped, just meaning they don't know where you're at. And if you're trying to drop off the planet, how they have now framed Madripoor as being the place to drop off the planet, that would be a good place for a person to go to make sure that they can disappear from the world, don't have to worry about any governments or anybody going and get them. And in that time frame, she could have, with less people and less, higher ranking individuals there on Madripoor, she could have formed this criminal organization very easily.
And just to be clear, do we know the time frame of when Carly and the Flag Smashers got the serum and became terrible? Were they all snapped, or were they doing this the past 5 years?
No. See, they recently acquired that serum.
Yes.
They acquired the serum since the blip.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it would be impossible to place my client at the scene of this whole ordeal. The power broker is somebody that would have to have been active and unsnapped during that time frame.
You're right, and that's what she wasn't snapped. That's what I'm trying to say.
You cannot 100% prove. If Steve Rogers thought that she was snapped, I would say the court and the jury should think she was snapped.
I would like to throw out there that she also was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and worked for CIA under covert ops, and also disguising and making sure that she could drop off the grid if needs be, considering how high of a ranking officer she was, which means that if she wanted to disappear, which is what she was trying to do, she could, and no one could find her.
Yeah, it's easy to stay off the grid when you're in Soul World. So shall we move forward?
Yeah,
sure.
Let's go to the next item.
Let's say she wasn't snapped. Let's just go down that path for a second.
Okay.
Who would she be running from with half the governments of the world gone and no longer giving a flying flip about her?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
It also leaves her in the perfect opportunity to not topple over an entire country and take it over. Because there's no more resistance. Why would you go for a bigger country where there's still going to be a lot more stuff to deal with? But if you go with an island country where you only have a certain amount of criminal organizations, and if everyone snapped, you just basically mix everyone together, and we're all on the same page.
I don't like that. He's leading this case.
I think we should. The snap argument has been logged in.
Okay.
Let's move to the next item.
Okay. All right. If you guys ain't buying that one, how about Sharon Carter's a Skrull? So we had obvious clues during Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we have the one episode where she has a cut lip, and then the other episode where she don't have a cut lip, and it's supposed to be taking place in the same time frame.
All right, I'd like to approach the bench and bring something to the judge's attention here. That if what Hank is saying is true, that means that technically I'm still correct, because Sharon Carter still is going to be the power broker. Just so happens she's a Skrull, but it's still
is Talos Nick Fury?
Yeah, he's on the planet. He's playing Nick Fury.
That is not the same thing. I'd like a DNA test. DNA test.
The question here was she a Skrull? I'm sorry, was she the power broker? Not was she a Skrull? If she's
Sharon
Skrull,
Carter. No, Sharon Carter is not a Skrull, is not technically a Skrull. Sharon Carter's an individual person.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. So if if I have a co-host that's a Skrull, then I can just say that's John?
Yeah.
Because he looks like you?
Yeah.
You know how many kids I'd have if that were the case?
Oh.
Wow.
I got my lawyer on standby. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Do you have any proof that she's a Skrull?
There's some inconsistencies in these 6 episodes. I also would like to bring up that Carly never, ever states that Sharon Carter is the power broker. Carly makes a statement, and it sounds damning. I'm going to tell you, honestly, it sounds damning. But she never states that she is the power broker. What she does is sets up a whole situation in which now Backtrack can come in and make the accusation.
Well,
which is critical writing. It is beautifully seamed together, and you can tell the scenes were cut. I rewatched all these last night.
So what the defense over here is trying to prove is the fact that these people were already working together, and that regardless of if there was a higher being that is a power broker, that she was more of a relay person or the false power broker to make sure that she was running interference. No one ever gets to meet the power broker because they're going through Sharon Carter first. But at the same time, we know that there's a power broker, so we never know if she's talking to it, if she's talking to an aide, or what. And that's what he's trying to get at with this.
And rewatch that scene, because when Batroc comes out and says, "So you're the power broker," look at Carly's face. She has a look on her face like, not really what I was saying, but okay.
Yeah, but Sharon Carter also has a look on her face like, "Oh my God, now I have to shoot you too."
Right, because she doesn't want her name disparaged like you're doing here today. Emily couldn't be with us, by the way.
So let's see. It says that when Carly left and created the group, the Flag Smashers, Sharon trained Carly for everything. She's the reason Carly knows everything that she does know fighting wise. And she was trying to create her own little super soldier army to work side missions and make extra money out of Madripoor. And she decided to take that strength, and instead of doing the jobs that the power broker is assigning to her, trying to make a difference in the world by changing it back to the way that it was.
And what source are you reading?
I just put it in Google, honestly.
I like Google stricken from the record, Your Honor.
Well, I only think it is like right here. It says people also ask, and you just expand it. But I mean, not like anything there wasn't said in the show. All that was said in the show.
Listen to the wording, though. Carly says, and I quote, "Without us super soldiers, how much power does the power broker really have?" So if Sharon is the power broker, why wouldn't you just simplify that? Why would you talk about them in the third person? Why would I go, John, my co-host, is very interesting, instead of just going, John, you're really interesting? Like, why would I go to those links? That doesn't make any sense here.
Wait, because it's a TV show?
If the script don't fit, you must acquit.
All right, so I can go over here to the Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom.com, which
all
is
right.
Okay. So
that's a mouthful, but okay.
This is the last paragraph here. It says, relying on her skills and ingenuity to survive, Carter established herself in Madripoor as the power broker who ruled the city criminal underworld, assuming her wealth during the snap, in which she was believed to have died. Carter would later reunite with Sam, Bucky, and Zemo, assisting them in uncovering the truth about the Flag Smashers. She would later hire the mercenary Batrick as a means to spy on their leader, Carly, before joining Wilson and Barnes in New York City as the Flag Smashers attack the GRC. After Carter kills Wilson, sorry, what is that? What's her name? Morgan. Yeah. No. This isn't. I forgot. I just didn't want to say that.
Oh, darn it.
Morganthau. Okay. So Agent Carter killed Morgenthau. Wilson was eventually able to get her pardoned, eventually allowing her to secure direct access to government resources for her buyers in Madripoor.
This is all conjecture. Now, the reason why she got the Leaper there is because she knew that she could get him taken down. And now she's tied up Carly, the Flag Smashers, and the Leaper in a nice little bow, handed them over to the government, dead or alive, mind you, and tightened up everything that needed to be done. If she were really the power broker, all these assets wouldn't be in play. They wouldn't be in play to be taken out. I mean, why would you do that?
I mean, why aren't you using the defense that she would blow up her own what is it, that the research laboratory for the super soldiers?
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah,
but what sense would that make? I'll lead the people I'm trying to stop and then save them from all these bounty hunters. What sense would that make?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that if she is now concerned because people are on to the fact and it's the wrong type of people that have probably told other people. So if anything, now it's it's an asset that needs to be cut. So it even though it could have been profitable, it automatically wasn't because they didn't have any more of the vials left. All the vials got taken, and then the lab got destroyed.
Right.
So,
but why wouldn't you have a backup of all those items unless you're a triple agent and you're trying to make sure they get destroyed? Huh? You want the vials to be destroyed because secretly you're supposed to be working for the real power broker, but technically you're working for Nick Fury and you're trying to help Sam Wilson.
Isn't he on the moon?
I heard he was, but I don't know. I don't know. It seems pretty cloudy to me, Your Honor, at best. Right. Okay. I have more ammunition, though. But, John, go ahead.
Oh, no. So I also sent up an independent survey in a bunch of website. Sorry, not website. Facebook page with the other bunch of nerds that are on there. And basically it set it up just asking the two question. There was no scroll part of this question. But is she or is she not the power broker? And I only set this up yesterday, so it only had about a full day to soak. But I have 1 no and 5 yeses.
Okay.
All right. So yes, it's not a large one, but for 24 hours on a web page on a Facebook page that is called Avengers Mansion, where we do nothing but talk about the Avengers. That's so far.
Unfortunately, we can't accept that, and here's why. Millions of people watch this TV show called Lost, and millions of people were dumb enough to think that the people were dead the whole time. They didn't see what I saw. So people are stupid.
Thank you. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you did it for me. So thank you.
I can't raise a tear to my no, I can't.
hey,
I watched the Lost season finale and I went into work the next day and everybody's like, so they were dead the whole time. I was like, what are you talking about? Since the show started, they were dead the whole time. And I was like, what did you see compared to what I just saw?
Like, no, they weren't.
So audience participation, we can't add that to the record. Sorry.
Speaking of Lost, like we're watching this series called Skinwalker Ranch. It's on the History Channel, and it's like the entire time it's like, hey, I think they just found the hatch. What's this? They get all these electromagnetic readings, and like everyone's getting sick, and there's like radiation burns. I'm like, it's the hatch. Leave it alone, guys.
And I too am watching a new Lost. It's called Debris. And it is trying to be a new Lost. All right, let's get back on track. All right.
All right.
Now, I want to bring out something that I watched last night when I did my rewatch. In the season finale, Sharon shows up with an augmented face, showing that everything is not as it seems. This is an obvious clue that a writer would use to say that, yes, see, this character is wearing a mask of sorts. I would also like the court to know Sharon Carter's only killed bad people. If we look at Selby, Lennox, Carly, these are all bad, non-redeemable characters. If she was the power broker, there'd be a ton of innocent blood on her hands.
Well, that's what she has minions for, that she has to keep back in line.
That's what you think, but that's what you're trying to prove, but you're not doing a good job proving it, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to sway anybody.
Oh, okay.
And then what is the strangest? Go ahead.
Just to be clear, we should move out of the kill situation just because a good guy wouldn't melt acid off of you.
Even if the person was unredeemable?
The death, I don't think just how people get killed and it could go either way. So I think we should move along.
Okay. Because our very own Wanda, you know what she did to Crossbones, but I'll leave it.
Yeah, and look what she did to an entire town, but they let her just walk out.
And they didn't have a choice.
Yeah, so the way somebody got killed or just kills in general, let's just not add that.
All right, let's go to wounds. Sharon Carter shot in the finale. but doesn't go to the freaking hospital? Why would
we
she
don't-
be avoiding a hospital?
Come on, we haven't seen all the people end up going to the hospitals. But the thing is, okay, hold on. I'm going to go back while you're going to say something here. I know you will. And I'm going to look for stuff from Captain Marvel, because I thought that when they got hit that they bled green. So if that's the case, then I see what you're going at here, because you think she's a Skrull, and that's why she didn't want to go there. But she was bleeding out red. So
where do you have photos?
Huh? Yeah,
Do you have photographs?
All right, hold on. Let me find.
Do we know when Sharon Carter was replaced?
What, you're thinking that she got replaced after everything in between?
I'm just saying it looks suspicious, John, that something is not as it seems. How do we know what exact moment she was replaced?
I don't have to use facts, and it's a fact that she got shot, and it's a fact that we saw red.
Did we see red?
Yes,
of course.
It was at night.
She could have easily put a pack on there, but we can't speculate. We just have to go after what we saw.
Oh, okay.
So move along.
But just keep in mind, folks. Just keep in mind.
We can speculate all day, but the job here is to use facts.
Okay.
Facts, people.
I don't know what John's doing here then.
I'm looking to see if there's any pictures of her getting shot.
Exactly. You're not going to find any because the lighting was terrible. So how can we say it was red, green, blue? How can we say?
I mean, I can just bring up Hulu on the computer and do a screenshot of it and then show it to you.
And then there'll be a nice copyright strike, but thank you. Are we going to give our closing arguments?
Sure.
Give your closing argument.
Oh, you give yours first.
No, you're the prosecution. I'm the defense.
All right. So basically we've gone through all this, and really all the defense has been able to do is give us speculations of her more than likely not being human and being a Skrull, which was outside of the original argument of her being the power broker or not the power broker. And I feel that regardless if she is a Skrull or not, the question still stands as, is she the power broker? Is she not? For the purposes of the show, we believe her to be Sharon Carter through and through. So because of that, for this case right here, I say that she is the power broker, regardless if she is a Skrull or not a Skrull. Now, if we go down the road in the future and find out that she is a Skrull, then that gives you the redeeming mark of her not actually being this bad guy the entire time, but having the possibility of being, not knowing when that change actually happened. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about right now, the show that we watched did not prove that she was a Skrull, and definitely lined up every single bit of evidence that we needed to believe that she is the power broker, from her conversations with, the super soldiers, the fact that she's just pulling off things randomly, like just showing up in the United States. How does she do that unless she has her own plane for being the power broker? Always having the satellites, after we already know that the power broker sees all, and she basically has tabs on every single thing that's going on in the Madripoor. So this show has done a good job from the get-go showing that she is the power broker without calling her the power broker directly, and done a very good job of not ever assuming anybody else could be the power broker. So with that, I rest.
All right. I just want to say in closing, if it's at all cloudy to you that Sharon could be a double, triple agent even, or she could be a Skrull, or she could be anything other than the power broker, you can't say that there's not reasonable doubt in your mind on this situation. Would the power broker orchestrate the destruction of the super soldier serum? I don't think so. It just doesn't make any sense. If the power broker sees all, why embed a spy into a group of terrorists? Doesn't make sense. And lastly, the hero's journey. We've seen tidbits throughout Sharon Carter's arc that would set her on this hero's journey. You're in familiar territory. She's with S.H.I.E.L.D. That crumbles. So the hero's journey would tell us that now you're going to get into unfamiliar territory, which she's done. And we've seen that. So you think her redemptive arc is coming back as a bad person. No, she's still in that unfamiliar territory. She's going to return to hero Skrull Secret Invasion. I'm calling it right now. So if there's reasonable doubt, I think that we must acquit Sharon Carter.
Okay. Do we want to?
You can you want to go to feedback first?
Sure.
You want to before deliberation? Let's go to feedback. This whole situation has just divided our community. It's been divisive, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore.
Oh, I looked it up. It's blue. The Skrull blood is blue.
Okay.
We see in Captain Marvel whenever Talos' wife gets like backhanded, she's got blue coming out of her.
Blue coming out of her. Let me change my background lights real quick. No, just kidding. All right. This first email, despite breaking my heart, came from Elizabeth. She said, Hank, I am so sorry. But it became increasingly obvious as the show went on that Sharon was the power broker. There was no other believable candidate, and she had nothing to do after her awesome fight scene, which justified her image in the credits. Naming her at the end as the power broker was an effortless way to give her credibility. Please tell John that if he wants an easy way to find out what a Louisiana crawfish boil tastes like, try a bag of Zapp's Cajun crawtators. It leaves Old Bay in the dust. Many thanks, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, even though you're breaking my heart, thank you.
I've had the Zaps because that's what comes with those the crawl fries, and I can't deny it's not good, but Old Bay is what I'll always go back to.
I bought that seasoning she mentioned. I had it on the live stream, and it is amazing. It is better than Old Bay. All right. Now, for every yin, there's a yang. And so thank God for Russ. Hi, guys. As a fellow podcaster, I wanted to say I appreciate and understand the effort you put into the show each week. In response to your question about who is the power broker, I, like John, tabbed Sharon Carter relatively early on as the likely power broker. And while I was happy to seemingly be proven right, I have to say that it doesn't feel like a big enough reveal for Marvel if the power broker is intended to be a major player moving forward. Additionally, in the MCU, with a few exceptions, the good guys have not taken people's lives unless it could not be avoided, unlike Sharon on the show. This leaves me to believe that Sharon Carter, the Sharon Carter we saw, is possibly a Skrull, which makes sense given the Secret Invasion series that's upcoming. And it would protect the real Sharon Carter for whenever she returns. Consider me Team Hank on this one. Thanks for the show. I enjoy listening every week. That is Russ. Russ, not to get sentimental here, but did you ever know that you're my hero? A little Bette Midler-ish. And we have one more piece of feedback. The real Agent 14.
Hey, Hank. Hey, John. Agent 14 checking in on the season finale of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Overall, I thought that it was a decent series. Not my cup of tea, but okay, I get it. I had a few issues with his outfit. Maybe the color coordination, it looked big for him. It was one of those things where, it looked good on comic book, but it looked kind of weird, when I saw it. Anyway, I was a little disappointed with how they really treated Bucky, throughout the whole season. Okay. If you guys go back to Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War, you'll notice that, Cap had a hard time bringing them down, and he pretty much whooped the Black Panthers' butt. Okay. So, for me, these guys were a little bit low level for Bucky. I just wish that they would have gave him more of a challenge because he is really strong. And I was hoping that they would give him a white wolf suit from Wakanda. I thought that would be pretty cool. Overall, the what he did for Isaiah at the end, I thought was very, very nice, man. It caught me off guard. I got a little emotional watching that part. And the part where he was talking to the senators, the big speech, it was kind of hard to take serious because I just think this is kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. But what do you guys think? Overall, I'll give that last episode a 7 out of 10. Thanks, guys. See you for the next series.
And that is the real Agent 14. Thank you for sending that in. Well, we've argued, we've debated, we've deliberated. Mel, what say you?
Okay. So for starters, so let's look at the actual facts.
All right.
There is the fact about the phone. John's right. They do have the contract, the iPhone and good guys or versus bad guys, what have you. So that's for John. Your point about Sharon being snapped means nothing because the flag smashers started after the snap, after the blip. So in theory, if people can become super soldiers and become a big team after the blip, in theory, someone could become the power broker in that small time to start these people up. So that really didn't work. Talking to someone in the third person, that's TV, that's Marvel right there. So that didn't really help. Now here's the big thing, and I've saw this online a few times as well. Leading them to the lab. If she was the power broker and she led them to the lab, like that's her golden goose, so to speak. That's weird. So that stays there. The augmented face, Black Widow did that. I mean, that's really not evidence. Here's the other thing: when she was shot and she didn't get medical attention immediately, that stays because that is weird. They didn't show her get bandaged up. They didn't show anybody saying you're good to go. The usual thing. So with that being said, and I did some background research just now, and I typed in Marvel.com, and they did put down that Sharon is the power broker. So here's my thing. We are meant to believe on this show, from what we saw right now, that she's a power broker. That's what we're meant to believe. There's enough evidence to say it could go either way. So I say right now, just like we're meant to believe that, just like we're meant to believe that Luke and Baby Yoda coming back next season. If they don't, that'll be a shock to us. But we're meant to believe they're coming back. We're going to see them in some visit. We're meant to believe right now she's a power broker. It could change at any minute. We can find out who the real person behind that person. But right now, Marvel and the show wants us to believe it so we can maybe be surprised later. But as of right now, they're giving us a lot of evidence to believe that she's a power broker.
All right. I will accept the judge's verdict.
I think you need a sound effect. You need the wah wah.
I was going to give you a star, John.
Here's my other background on this. There's a show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I watched once upon a time, and there was a guy in the first season. Every one of his actions from day one said that he was a good guy, and then there was a movie called Captain America: Winter Soldier that came out, and then you see that this guy was Hydra the whole time. His actions didn't say that up until now. As of one point, his teammate fell out of a plane, and he just risked his life, jumped out of an airplane without thinking. The actions at that point, if any of us guess, oh, I still don't like him, he's evil. There's no actions to back it up until the episode.
Okay.
So we're supposed to believe she's a power broker until we see anything else.
Okay.
Hey, I heard there was a really good podcast went along with that series too.
I believe that as well. So it's a trust but verify.
It might have been a podcast about that show.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yes. Maybe.
But all right. When is sentencing then? I have to get my client ready.
I say sentencing is everybody has to watch Clone Wars and talk about it.
Ooh. Ouch.
I mean, you know what?
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness.
Wait. Are we talking about the animated series? Or are we talking about the movie?
If you're talking about the movie, I'm out.
The whole series, because I haven't watched it. That's why.
Okay.
The series is okay.
Which series though? The cartoon or this computer animated one?
Ooh,
The
good point.
second series, because I watched the first cartoon series, the one with Ahsoka, and the one that just got re-released a season ago.
That ain't bad. That one's not bad.
But that's a lot of episodes. That's why.
That's a ton of episodes.
Yep.
I'm 25 in because I want to see what ties into the Rebels. And,
good.
and
Smart move. Smart move.
Yeah, there's a lot that will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some good stuff. All right. Well, we have to thank our special guest, Mel Sharp. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Thank you.
John. John, I'll see you next Sunday. Well, you're going to get a ton of...
See, Mel, this is why I wanted you to have the board, because I was expecting him the entire time to just do that whenever I was talking.
If we let Hank keep on, he would have been talking about...
They never have bad women in shoes. They never wear Pradas. I'd have went right down every accessory, everything. Like 3 hours, 48 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, it was it's just the facts.
Oh, that's fair enough. I'll take my L for now. And then we will appeal when I'm proven correct.
Okay.
But all right.
Okay.
Thank you both. This was a blast. I gotta say goodbye to the audience, though, real quick.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.